Peace and blessings. This is ShanGO Ray, aka Real Deal Ray. Sorry for the low lighting here. I'm doing it on the move here, and I wanted to do a video based on talismans and amulets. A very good subject. Wear your sorcery. WEAR your sorcery. Not where, as in where the fuck is it at? so, so ShanGO. Why would I want to do that? Well, that's like getting more bang for your buck, magically speaking, okay? And amulets and talismans. First of all, let's go into the difference between a talisman and an amulet. I recently found this out. I kind of just assumed they were the same thing, but there is a difference. And then I'm going to briefly kind of just go through a quick kind of like how you can make your own amulets and talismans for your purposes, okay? Let's excuse me for that cough too. In the mic if it was too loud there. But so number one, an amulet. An amulet is an ornament or a small piece of jewelry thought to give protection against evil, danger, or disease. So right there, we're knowing that amulets are more of a protection-based thing. Matter of fact, those of you who've been following me and who know who Oshun Offset Mayat is, sometime in about 2014, I was under heavy attack, and I was speaking with her, and she began to tell me about the Archangel Michael and how I should, do some work with Archangel Michael. Now, at this particular time, I was at a coffee shop and I went out back so I could talk on the phone because it was kind of loud inside. So I'm in the back of this coffee shop, and there's like an alleyway in the back of this coffee shop. And right the fuck after she said that, I kid you not, I looked on the ground and I seen this. Now, this was on the ground. I don't know if you can see it. Let me switch screens here because I'm on the yeah. Now it's in Spanish, but I know what an amuleto is. Okay, so San Miguel Archangel. This was on the ground literally as we're having the conversation. Right after she told me to say it. I mean, told me I should work with Archangel Michael. I'm kind of pacing around out back, and I just happen to look down, and this is laying there, face up, just like this. This is an amulet. I quickly picked that shit up, and I did kind of clean it off. I put some salt on it. I put it in a little thing of salt just in case, because it was on the ground and shit. But I've been carrying around this around with me ever since. And let me tell you, okay, I done had a lot of different situations. All right. So that's an example of an amulet. Let me show you another one because I got it in my back pocket. I got it in my back pocket. Okay. Now this is. See if you can see this. I mean, this looks like a big old mess. I didn't ever cut the rest of this shit off, but inside here there's some candle wax. Okay. Now every now and again, about every month, I'll do a special cleansing bath. I also give a lot of my clients this bath because they need it. It's very powerful. You only need to do it one time. And I use a candle during the ritual, and I use some of the candle wax as an amulet. So this keeps on working with me. Remember, we are affecting our electromagnetic fields. If you want to say it in a new agey, tree huggy, light worker way, we're affecting the aura, of course, and other ethereal bodies, the emotional, spiritual, so forth. So that is the definition of what an amulet is. Okay, now A talisman has a slightly different definition. Definition of a talisman: an object held to act as a charm to avert evil. It can do that as well, and bring good fortune. Something producing apparently magical or miraculous effects. Okay? Now, let me give you another example of a talisman. Okay? How many of you have heard possibly of a sports figure or something, and maybe they wear the same drawers or the same pair of fucking socks or the, whatever it is, and they believe it to give them good luck. And maybe they've been on fire, they've been on top of the game, so, or maybe it's a pair of shoes or something. It's got to be the shoes, right? That is also an example of a talisman. Now, a lot of you have asked me about, um, you know, my pieces. For some, they would see this and assume that I'm a santero, that I'm in Santeria, or some form of religion like that, which I am not. Okay, this is also an ass-kicking motherfucking talisman with some Herkimer diamonds on it, baby. And there is an actual entity in this that I put in here, and I'm going to get into that. Okay. Now, just so I can answer some questions about, why I wear these. I don't wear these so people will look at me and say, "Oh, you're so fucking deep. Oh, this and that." The real one of the main functions of a talisman, since we're talking about the magic here, the real magic, which is within you. Okay, this is also a way of programming your subconscious mind. Because even though you see it, you're not seeing it. You go through your day, you forget you're wearing them or whatever. Now, these have their own meaning for me, which I'm not going to discuss because it's more of a personal nature. But I get so far as to get even more in depth. Like even the bead configurations, though they may look like a regular bead configuration that you would find for some iyeques or collares, you know what I'm saying, which is what they're called in Santeria. Collares also means collar. And as Brother Panic put it, it can also be looked at like a dog collar, if you will. Not to disrespect any tradition, because I'm not disrespecting it. I respect all traditions. If that's what you feel you need to do, that's fine. I'm just saying, when working with these deities and energies that you may want to connect with, this is another way. I believe truly in evoking and invoking these energies, becoming these energies. Now, this is a process. You're not just going to make an amulet and all of a sudden, bam, I'm this deity. Although, in some senses, you kind of are, but you will experience the process more and more and more of becoming this energy, of invoking this energy, of integrating this particular energy and the qualities of whatever said energy that you are trying to connect with. Because remember, also, these energies are what I like to call patterned energy. Also, in Chinese sorcery, they have a term, something similar, but it's like it's patterned energy. This patterned energy will keep reproducing effects based off of whatever its pattern is. So that is in essence also what the difference is between, a talisman, all right, versus like an amulet. Now, if you are like a police officer, if you're a security guard or something, you might want to carry something just for protection. But if you're trying to add a certain effect or effect to your life or to your personality, or what you're really actually doing is you're altering your state of being. You're becoming this person who is, and therefore who does, and therefore who has XYZ, fill in the blank. Okay, that's really all we're doing. Okay, now what I want to tell you briefly also is how you can make your own talismans and amulets. Okay? Because really, it doesn't matter so much what you use as opposed to um, how you go about charging it up and transforming it with your intention. Number one, you want to begin with a specific intention. Even if the effect is more of a general one, for example, let me just use an example. A typical one would be maybe to attract more romantic partners, or even if it's to attract your ideal romantic partner, you still may go through a process where you attract individuals who are almost but not quite that one, but still, even in that sense, you become a more magnetic person to this type of a person that you want. And so, therefore, you will be coming more from a place of choice and abundance versus, trying to get one particular person. And me personally, just me personally, my mindset has always been like, for example, when we used to play games, okay, if a genie asked you, you got one wish, what would you wish for? And some people would say, I wish for this, I wish for that. Now, a lot of us would say, I'd wish for infinite more wishes. That's just on one level. You can ask for $1 million, $1 billion. You can ask for this, you can ask for that, but why not ask for the ability to keep getting what you want? Like, that's just another perspective, in my opinion. And in my opinion, it's an expanded perspective. Okay, so number one, you want to start with a clear, specific intention. Once again, even if that's to create an ongoing situation, or maybe for self-confidence, maybe if you're in sales or something and you want to tap in, you know to that version of yourself who's more relaxed, who's not clingy, desperate. We used to call it, when selling, especially if you were broke and you had to do something, you're on the phone like a madman. It's like, we used to call it like pitching, like pitching with a gun to your head. Okay, the person on the other end of the phone can sense your desperation, your neediness, your lack. You will often find in cases like that, and whether it's we're talking about sales or we're talking about something else, that neediness, lack, that desperation feeling actually pushes the outcome that you want just out of your reach in front of you. So it's like you can never get it. Versus the person who's more detached, more definitely more relaxed. Because think about confidence. Um, Confidence, another way of saying confidence, is just being able to be relaxed. Even if you're unsure of the outcome, you're still relaxed and detached. You got that kind of, James Bond, je ne sais quoi, by like whatever, like, you know, um, you're probably going to have a whole lot more success. Okay. So whether you're dealing with love, whether you're dealing with finances, whether you're dealing with even, mastering aspects of yourself, getting yourself to do certain things, you know what I mean? Amulets, well, or excuse me, talismans work very good with that. And like I said, they keep on programming the subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind sees everything in your environment. You know what I mean? And it edits out so much information. So consciously, you're only receiving just a fraction of what's actually going on, but you're aware. Just like right now, you probably can't feel your clothes on your body. Now, if you started to focus on it, you'd start to feel, either if you're a woman, like maybe if you have a bra, or your panties, or your shirt, or the feel of your feet and your shoes, or whatever. Like, I forget consciously that I have these on, but my subconscious mind is always watching. Okay, and my subconscious mind knows what these mean for me, and I've spent, like, this right here, this guy right here. Obviously, this is my LA piece, And I got this when I was actually homeless and going through a dark night of the soul. And he has been with me for many years now. I have a lot of, you can see old pictures where his head, like the the beads and the pieces have changed, whether they've snapped, broke, or whatever, But he has been around, so I've put a lot of energy. I've programmed pattern energy for this. I've connected with this particular energy known as Elegua, Eshu, Elegua, and it's a gift that keeps on giving. So obviously, the opener of the way, the messenger, um, so forth. Okay, but I have a lot of different ones. Also, a talisman. Most likely, you take it with you. You wear it with you, but you can also, use your talisman on your altar, and then do your working with your altar, and then you take it with you. Whatever that is. If you are a writer, you can make a talisman out of a pen. You know, you can consecrate one pen and kind of ritualistically, in your own way, charge it up. So let's get back to what I was saying though. You want to start with a clear, specific intention. Okay, what is this exactly for? What is it going to do for you? Okay, what states of being is it going to allow you to access? Okay, um, second, you want to do something out of the ordinary. So you want to set aside a time, 10, 15 minutes, and you might concoct or create some form of a ritual, or receive a channel from your higher self as far as how to go about charging this, and depending on what it is. Now, some talismans are going to have a quote unquote spirit, thought form, entity put in it to do certain things. Okay, um, some are just going to be more of an access point to a particular energy, you know. Um, However you choose to do that. Okay, I mean, I can't. There's so many different ways to do that. Like, you need to be creative and you need to trust in yourself, because this is for you. You know, so it only makes sense that you would. I'm gonna put it to you like this. Brother Bobby Hemmett also said that some of the most effective rituals you ever do are the ones that you create, the ones that you channel for yourself, or the ones that you channel to do. Because those are the most current, updated versions of what may be needed right here, right now, in this particular situation, in your situation, relevant to you and your personal frequency, your personal vibration, and so forth, all that, versus some cookie cutter approach. But a lot of people have a very, very hard time, difficult time trusting in themselves. you know but one thing that you could actually do, for example, whatever you do, if you buy something, let's use the pen, right? Let's say you're a writer or an artist, and this is your amulet to create marketable, um, you know monetarily beneficial intellectual properties, right? I'm just going to give you an example of kind of like what I would do, and then you could take the template for that and apply it to how you want. I also have something very special here that I'm offering one person, just one person, and I know the right person's going to get it. And I've never done this before, so you want to stay tuned for that. But okay, so I would go buy a pen that I really like, not just a typical big pen or some bullshit. Although you could use that if that's all you can get, and you want to start off like that, fine. If not, if you can spend a little bit more and get you a nice pen, something that really speaks to you, so that I only use this pen when I'm doing my art or my creative writing or whatever it is that I'm doing, right? I won't just use it to just write anything. Like, it's special for it's special for a specified reason, okay? So I would take that pen, I would clean it. Like, for example, I would maybe, the cheapest, easiest thing you could do, put a little water in a cup, put some salt or some sea salt in there, like kind of pray over, put your intention. Hey, it's my intention that this salt water will evaporate any negative or whatever influences, energies that may have been attached to this pen before I got it. So then I would just clean it off with the pen, or clean the pen with it. And then what I would do, I like using fire a lot. I'm a fiery person. So I might get a candle, maybe like a blue candle, something that kind of corresponds to me, and also in other ways to communication. Communication, blue also corresponds with, of course, the throat chakra, which is the chakra of expression as well. And I would, maybe light that candle. I would, if it's a glass candle, I would write on it, or if it's a taper candle, I would carve in it uh, maybe a one line intention, maybe carve my name on it too, in my birthday too, just to really lock it in, you know. And then I would already go into this ritual knowing exactly what I'm doing. So let's just say I want to create an entity that allows me to, it like facilitates me to channel even doper ideas for whatever I'm doing, right? It's going to act like one of them Wi-Fi antennas that you can plug into your computer, so that way you get better reception or something like that. Just an example. And in my imagination, first of all, I'd get nice and relaxed. There's many ways to do that. Um, you can just sit there and take a couple nice deep breaths in, and each breath out, you just imagine all the tension of your body just going, and eventually you're going to feel really relaxed. That's as simple as you can get. All right. So I would get nice and relaxed, and then I would maybe hold that pen, and I would light the candle, and I would imagine, in my imagination, I would form this entity, whether it's just a ball of light, maybe it's an actual figure, maybe it looks like, I don't know, some fucking cartoon figure, or maybe it looks like a movie actor that played a role, maybe, or something, whatever. It has to be relevant to you, and that's the only one it has to be relevant to. Whatever symbology that this entity that you're about to put into this pen has for you, it's fine. There is no right, there's no wrong, there's just you. What works for you, and that's the bottom line. So if it means something to you, use it. It doesn't matter if it's not traditional, it doesn't matter, none of that shit. It does not matter. It matters if it is relevant to you. Let me say that one more time. It's relevant only if it's relevant to you. All right. So let's just say, in the example of the pen, I would, I'm trying to think of a visualization of something that, okay, like I might use Mandrake the Magician. Because to me, when I was a kid, I had this period where I was like super into Mandrake the Magician. All right. I even tried to join the Society of American Magicians. Like, you know, if those of you who know what that is. But so I would want my writings to be magical. I would want them to be, just have that extra something that caught people's attention and stuff like that. Right. Just example. So I would imagine him, and I would imagine Mandrake standing before me. And I might do a ritual where I would charge it, like by way of envisioning maybe Mandrake shooting energy into this pen, his magical abilities into this pen, right? And I would tell Mandrake what I want this pen to do, right? And then I would command Mandrake, this is now your home. You will live in this pen. You will this and that. And in my imagination, I'm going to have him come in there. Now, the key to all of this, don't let your left brain, your conscious mind, the inner crap out artist tell you, this shit ain't real. You're just imagining it. But imagination is the most fucking real thing. Okay? So you need to also get this sense of certainty that it is done. No matter what. Like, this is what the fuck it is. Because I said that it is so. That's like one of the main keys right there. Because without that main key, all the other shit you do is going to be for naught. It's all for naught. You know what I mean? It's not gonna take hold. It's gonna end up you if you're not careful, then your pen's just gonna end up being a regular pen that you fucking write what you need to get from the grocery store or something. So when you approach it with this attitude, man, this attitude that this is what it is because I fucking say it is, and soon enough, it's going to show me how true it is. And that's when it really gets fun. But even in the meantime, another way I'll keep charging my pen is I'll talk to my pen. Because I know Mandrake's living in my pen now. To me, Mandrake is living in my fucking pen now. And not you or anybody else is going to tell me differently. Matter of fact, I won't even tell anybody else. I'll keep that to myself. But just as real as my daughter lives with me and is in her room or something, Mandrake's in my fucking pen. Just as real as y'all are out there watching me, Mandrake is in my fucking pen. And Mandrake's about to start showing me, number one, and then I will show the rest of the world what we cooked up together as I write with this pen. And then I would just conclude it, and like I said though, every day, maybe even for the next 7 days or a couple weeks at least, till it really, really takes hold. It needs to take hold within you. It needs to take hold within you. That's the most important part. Hands down, flat out, it needs to take hold within you. To the degree that it takes hold in you is to the degree that you will start seeing it outwardly manifest in your physical world. They are one and the same, if that makes any sense. So that's how you can make a talisman. Now, depending on what it is that you want to create, it would probably influence what the talisman is. I mean, shit, for fuck's sake, you can pick up a rock that speaks to you and use that as a talisman, because a rock is alive. You know what I mean? So that can make a perfect housing. Anything can make a housing. You can go buy a toy. A lot of y'all have seen, I got a picture of, on my wealth altar, of a little Slimer from the Ghostbusters. I will finally reveal to you, now that is a talisman as well. I just don't carry him around, but I created a thought form, an entity, to do something for me. And I'm actually going to tell you what that was. Several years ago, I would always find myself battling against my worry. So what I did was I created this thought form that looks like Slimer. Remember how Slimer, for those of you who've seen Ghostbusters, he had a voracious appetite. So in this case, this particular Slimer would go around throughout my being and eat my worry. And it would shit out confidence, peace of mind, and relaxation. I told y'all many times before now, I live a worry-free life. Does that mean I don't have challenges? Does that mean certain things don't try and pop up? No, absolutely, I still have challenges, but I don't worry about them. That's the difference. And once I started using that entity, and I told that entity, this is how you feed every time I worry. I don't have to summon you. As soon as I start worrying, as soon as I start getting that, knots in your gut and all that shit, that anxiety feeling, tightness of the chest shit, that's when you come into play. That means it's time to eat. And you search throughout my being, every fiber of my being, and you eat. And after you eat, you go ahead and shit out confidence, which to me, once again, is just more also relaxation. If I'm approaching a woman and I'm confident, I don't know exactly how the interaction is going to turn out, but if I'm relaxed, I'm automatically going to appear more confident. If I'm talking to somebody about business and I'm all nervous and shit and stumbling over my words versus just being relaxed. If I'm more relaxed, then I seem like I'm more authoritative, and it just has a whole other dynamic effect. So, anyways, that's how I use the Slimer. That's what the Slimer is for. But I'm to the point now where I don't even I don't need to carry around Slimer with me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's it's just a part of my state of being now. I just am a person who is at peace. I'll put it to you that way. I don't want to say who does not worry. I'd rather say who is at peace, who trusts in himself and you know his guides, his spirits, his entity, and who trusts in his mind to whereas I don't have to worry. It's all working itself out. Even if I can't physically see how this shit is going to work out, I know it. And I've had enough practice in knowing it that now it's automatic. So I still have my entity and I still have him and he still gets powered up and stuff because every day I work my altars. I charge them up, feed them, channel energy there. It's not just me feeding them. I also make it to where as they feed off of other energy. So it's not like it's just feeding off of my own personal energy, you know. So in the case of Slimer, that was a fucking awesome symbiotic relationship. It's like a parasite that eats your fucking extra fat but spares everything else. You know what I mean? Or like you've seen the movies where the guy gets cut back in the, gladiator days or whatnot, and they put what do you call those? Not fucking maggots, because the maggots eat all the dead flesh and basically eat away the infected parts, so that way you won't get an infection. So it's a win-win-win situation. They're winning and you're winning. You're feeding them, but they're also taking care of you. You know what I mean? It's an awesome symbiotic relationship. I like to design my entities like that versus creating a codependent entity where it's just going to feed off of my personal energy. Even though yes, they do feed off because they're a part of you too. Remember, you're creating this with your mind. So, yeah. But something special that that I did not too long ago, and I've shared it only with a few individuals. Well, first of all, let me tell you this. In this bottle is some B.O.B. Domination oil. I made this in 2015. Okay? B.O.B. stands for bend over, bitch. All right? And it has the nickname of prison rape in a bottle. It's a very heavy handed, diminutive domination tool. Okay? Now, I have also used this on behalf of my clients. I have used this for myself in many different situations when I was in a tight squeeze and I needed to basically almost as if I had a gun to somebody's head and said, okay, look, I need you to do this now. I did that. But recently I also started using this to dominate myself. Probably within the last like 5, 6 months. Something was like, showed me different little ways I can use this to dominate myself. So I made this was like in the fall, the autumn of 2015. When I was making this, I made the oil and then I was going to consecrate it and charge it. Started fixing up a candle. And as I was trying to fix it, it was a 9-day candle. The glass just shattered. Cut my fucking hand open. Actually cut my finger. And it was like this voice kind of said, that's the cost that you're paying right now. Like, in other words, like, it's the exchange, the currency. You want this shit to do this and that? Okay, we're going to need some little bit of blood. Now, I would have never just personally thought of just putting blood on it, but it just became apparent to me. I just knew that. So this actually cost me my blood to make. Okay, no, there's not, my blood is not in this, but and it was during a particular like super moon or whatever. I forgot exactly when I made it. I had it in my grimoire, but I don't have my grimoire on me or whatnot. But um, So not only does it have the intentions and it's been charged up over and over and over again through countless fucking supermoons now. How many supermoons have we had since then? Like, I've always charged my shit up. It also is a snapshot of that particular astrological time. And I made sure that I made it at a very advantageous time for this. And it's been with my Philomena Lubana, my Mama Chita, my Martha the Dominator, my Martha the Dominator altar. So I recently made a powder out of this because sometimes, and one of the ingredients in this is curry. Okay, so this shit, you put this shit on, you're gonna smell like you're Indian or something, you know. So I want it away, and it's a very thick oil, and there's only this is it, man. This is like a rare, precious fucking whatever. Like, this is it. I may do another version of this at some other time, but this is all there is left. You probably can't see it, but it's about that much left. You don't need a lot. But what I did was I made a powder out of it. So I'm offering a kit. I'm also offering a Martha the Dominator bracelet that will coincide with this also. That's on my website if you care to know about it. But I'm going to custom make this. This is only for one person. I'm not going to be sending out vials of fucking powder. Once I sell this bottle right here, and I'm going to have a 15-minute consultation with somebody just so I can ask them a few questions, kind of get to know them. Because these beads, for me, when I do this shit, you'll notice that some of my pieces in the past and stuff, the typical the layout is not, it's atypical because it's a code. This is a color combination. This is a fucking code. I almost want to say a binary code, but it's more than a binary code because I might be using more than one, like two. You know what I'm saying? But it's like coded information in the form of a color, of a colored fucking necklace for a specific purpose. So I want to really dial in before I make this bracelet for this person who's going to get their B.O.B domination sachet powder. I mean, you could put this on a sachet. You can lace candles. Let's say there's a particular target. I need this person, or I feel I need this person to do something, one particular action specifically. If you use this with specific and focused intent, you fuck some shit up. Straight up. Oshun, Offset My Eye, can tell you about it because I had given her some of this very bottle. I sent her a little vial of that, and she, a couple weeks later, was like, holy fuck, that shit is like gangbusters, man. I'm like, yeah, thank you. Thank you for your feedback, you know. And like I said, I made a powder out of it. So you can also, let's say, I don't know, lace some business cards with it. Just sprinkle a little bit on the business cards over a piece, like have a piece of paper on the table, sprinkle this over the business powders, and then kind of just shake it off. And then you can take that paper that the powder falls on and put it back in the bottle so you can use it again after for something else, you know. But it still has the trace powder on it. You know, you can lace a particular document. Most people don't have actual paper applications anymore, but if you needed a job, you know, you can even just put a little light, just, I mean, a micro pinch on your hand before you shake the person's hand who's deciding whether you're going to get hired or not. You know, it just goes on and on. It's really only limited by your imagination. It is more of a heavy-handed domination tool. It's not one of these slick, covert. You know, there's different ways to influence, and then there's dominate. I can influence you to whereas you want to buy this because it's your idea. Then I can also put a gun to your head and say, buy this shit, bitch. Now, the heavy-handed approach often has, not often, but sometimes, I don't want to say adverse effects, but whenever you like force somebody, there's usually some type of after effect. Like, they're not happy about it so much sometimes, But depending on how you use it, you know, um, will determine also any other effects. But this definitely gets the job done when you're in a pinch. If you got clients of some kind, you can use this on behalf of your clients. You can use this to get clients. Um, like I said, it's only limited by your imagination, but understand this is patterned energy. And this patterned energy is B.O.B. Bend over, bitch. All right? So just keep that in mind. The link for that is in the description box also. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I got to get it going. My name is ShanGO. Like, share, subscribe, and thrive. Like, share, subscribe, and thrive. Once again, like. When you like this shit, it kind of allows us to hack YouTube's fuckery. So it kind of helps to, big up the video, keep the video showing up and stuff like that. So you're helping out Papa Sean Geekdo here. You know what I mean? But like, share, subscribe, and thrive. And of course, if you are interested in applying, let me make this clear too. Just because somebody applies doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to help them. I might be able to offer, of course, other alternatives for that person, but it's almost like, how you go and apply for an apartment. It doesn't mean you're going to get it. You do an application fee to go apply somewhere. Doesn't mean you're going to get it. But you can't apply without applying. So if you are interested in ritual work, we really want to work with spiritual minded business people. Everybody has a glass ceiling, so magic ritual is the perfect modality to, pink and shatter your glass ceiling. So we want to work with spiritual minded business entrepreneurs, people who already have a cool level of success, but they maybe want to take it somewhere else, and they may be having a little trouble like that. We could definitely help. Or, whatever the case is, you can find that link in the description box as well. Peace and a bottle of fucking hair grease. My name is ShanGO. And it's been a pleasure talking with you. All right? And we shall be back with some ShanGodiacs also. So, one.